All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to do Alcantara on your door sills. So, of course, this is the factory leather, and all you need to do is pretty simple. I have a template right here, and this isn't exactly how the OEM leather is shaped, because there are some more cutouts and things like that, but I'm going to show you that it's easier to do those as you're gluing it on, in my opinion. So let's get started. So the first thing you need to do, pop off the door sills. They just pop off directly straight up. Be careful of the plastic. Hold the leather part to remove it first. For the driver's side right here, you just remove the gas lever piece, plastic, by pushing it straight off and out. So first, to remove this plastic piece, you need to remove these metal washer clip things. And so what I do is just grab a pick and stick it underneath, and then just work my way around just like this. It's kind of tedious, but it actually works out the best, I feel like. If you have a better way to do this, let me know in the comments. But just be careful not to obviously break the plastic, but it's pretty stout. I found this washer is not super strong. It can easily, the washer can easily, or this washer can easily bend and break. So, I mean, I've never broken one, but yeah, you can see that it comes off pretty easy. Just don't lose it if it pops off. There's one. You just kind of want to pry up on these tabs that are holding it down onto the plastic. Like that. So there's both of them. Flip it over, and it's common for these plastics to break. So if yours is broken, you just kind of want to use a plastic welder or something like that. I can show you pictures of what I did on mine. But this one is in good shape. So once you pop this off, very simply, normally the leather's already starting to come off because of these cars are all very old. So this leather will easily come off like this. Here's a broken piece of plastic, so we're going to have to plastic weld that back. I'll show you how to do that in a second. But yeah, just take off the leather like this. Leave the foam on. And just like that. Okay, so using the plastic welder, I'm going to attach this piece back here. Oops. And so all you want to do is pull the trigger. Let it melt down. You don't want to go all the way through. You want to go like halfway through. I end up having to blow on it to solidify the plastic so I can pull the gun off. If you pull it off too early, the staple will just come out. So, like that. And continuing. It's really fast to do too. Okay, in terms of plastic welding, you do want to cut off these tabs, and they usually provide you with some clippers. And I tend to grind it down and also smoothen out the plastic over the staples. And sometimes I put tape over it too if I can't get depending on where the staple is located. If there's still a little bit staple sticking out, I don't want it to be sharp, I put a piece of fabric tape over it. But I'm going to do that off camera, and then we'll get back to the Alcantara install. All right, so the next step you want to do is prep the surface for the spray glue. I've found that this leftover glue, OEM glue, especially on this area right here, you want to take it off. I use alcohol to remove it, and it works pretty good and sticks a lot better. If you do not clean this off, the spray glue that I use doesn't stick for some reason. So I usually just just wipe this area the most, and then wipe the top side just a little bit. But it's mainly this side, the plastic, that's going to be holding it on. But you know, if you have the patience and just do the whole thing. So just give this a wipe down until like pretty much all the residue is gone, until it feels smooth and not tacky anymore from the old glue, and then let it dry out and you'll be good to start gluing. Okay, so next for the Alcantara, you basically, all I did was lay the leather flat and trace it out. So that's what you can do. Like I said earlier, I didn't trace all these cuts into it. I did initially on my first time I ever did it, but then it didn't really line up and it had a hard time. So I basically decided that I'm just going to cut this one large center divot. So that one lines up with this back part right here. And then basically a rectangle. And then once I glue it on, I will cut the edges as needed. So next is the glue. Okay, so the process for this is for what I like to do. You could just spray glue on the whole thing, but what I like to do is tape off maybe like a centimeter or half an inch of the sides of the edges, because that's what I'm going to glue later. So that's what I'm doing right now. And then I'm going to spray the glue down on the center and on the sill, and then I'm going to lay it on, and essentially what that's going to leave me with is this whole portion is going to be glued on, and it's going to be flaps on the edges that are not going to be glued yet, and I'm going to spray glue on that part later. And the reason I do that is because it's just a little bit easier and less messy, and allows me to trim the edges too, or cut in the divots and stuff. Anyway, let's do this right now. So I'm going to lay this here. Well, you know what? Yeah. So I'm going to spray this whole. I'm going to spray this whole area and this whole thing right here. And you're going to let it sit for about 1 minute before you apply it. Immediately after I spray the glue on here, I'm going to remove the tape. Okay, wait 1 minute. Okay, once the glue is down, this before it's dried, I'm going to lift up the tape. And if it's warm like it is for me today, I'm going to start laying it down before the timer stops. All right, so 60 seconds has elapsed, and we're going to line up this divot with this center piece right here. That's not really in the center, but you get what I mean. Make sure it's straight. And what I do is press down and I roll it one way and then roll it the other way. Make sure there's no wrinkles. All right, so as you can see, now the edges are glue free, and now I can take my time to cut where I need to cut. Also, I forgot, if this is too thick or too wide for you, you're gonna have to cut into, either cut it down more, or you're gonna have to cut in divots for these plastic divider pieces that are here in the built into the plastic. Anyway, I'll show you that in a second. But I'm going to make the relief cuts and trim this side down a little bit more because it's too thick. And then final step will be to lay the final layer of glue. Okay, so essentially, just like my door cards tutorial, I'm going to make some cuts like this. Hopefully you can see that. So the idea is that these cuts allow you to fold these areas down like this, and then you're going to wrap the corners. Okay, this looks like it's clear, so I might make a tiny little bit of a relief cut at each one of these. So you can see here this plastic right here. I'm going to make a slight cut like that right here. Don't cut all the way down because you don't want to show. If you cut it all the way down to the base, it might show on this side right here. So you want to cut it just about maybe a third of the way, depending on how much you need to clear the plastic divider. And this side has more distance, so we'll be good here. Okay, so I'm going to trim this side now. So I'm just going to trim it back. You don't have to do this. You might not have to do this if you cut your Alcantara, if your template is closer than mine, but I just do this for extra security. Okay, so you do want to leave a little bit of extra. Basically, I cut it to where it lines up with the plastic, because you do want to have enough to basically tuck underneath this plastic piece right here. You don't want to basically come out from underneath the plastic. So it doesn't need to be perfect because this plastic is going to sit on top. I do need to cut relief cuts for these pegs. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so you can see here, cut some reliefs, and that should be good enough to get the pegs through. Maybe cut this one a little bit bigger. And that should give you enough room to put the plastic on. And then on these sides right here, you're just going to want to leave this because it's just going to fold over just like that. So for this part, due to the way the glue sprays kind of like a webbing, I do use more tape to protect the outsides. So what I mean by that is I'm going to put tape here, just like this. So I put tape on the outside, and that way I can basically lay it down like this and spray the glue only on the areas that need it. So it's a little bit complicated of a process as far as tape jobs go. You can use up some masking tape, but masking tape is a lot cheaper than Alcantara. And if you get glue on this Alcantara side, it's very hard to clean, and you're probably gonna have to start over. And you're just gonna want to suck it up and use up tape. And then I kind of just put some tape in the middle, just so the glue doesn't get everywhere that it doesn't need to. like so. So you can see here, all the areas open that I basically need to have glue on. I'm going to tape this down just like that. And now we're ready to spray. So same process, spray a layer and wait 60 seconds before you start laying it down. Okay. Okay, so one of the other things you do have to be careful of is your work surface too. Like there's going to be some overspray. And so in the beginning, like I laid down paper towels on each layer, which wasted a lot of paper towels also. But now I just kind of keep it like a one central area clean, and I make sure that when I put the finished piece down, if it's not covered, that I don't put it over any type of glue. So we've waited 60 seconds and we are going to lay down now. Oops, let me remove this center tape. Cut reliefs there. Forgot to do these corners. Okay. Okay. All right, and you just want to push the Alcantara to the edges and fill this areas like this, and put this plastic piece on, being cognizant of the sides right here and how much Alcantara is bulging out. And then grab your little spacer washer clip thingies. Put them back on. All right, and then that's it, and you're done. And I recommend an Alcantara brush to clean it off and also get the grain going the same way. Alright, and so there is your final product. Okay, so to install it, just line up the clips back. Put on this gas lid, again it just slides right on. And you are done. So that does it for this video. Thanks for watching.